welcome to another episode of Do the Damn Thing, the weekly show produced by HipCat Society, where we talk to entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, anyone out there doing it, and dig their brain and get into their wisdom and learn about their story. This week, I am joined by Marco Cabrera. Hi, Marco. How are you?
Good. How are you, Laura?
I'm doing well. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. So we wanted to talk to you about your business, about your background. I know that you do specialize in real estate investing, which is personally very interesting to me because I'm just starting to dabble in real estate investing. I got my first few properties and I'm kind of figuring out
Nice.
what to do with them. But I want to
Awesome.
hear more about your story. But tell me first, tell us, what exactly do you do? I know you're a serial entrepreneur. What is that?
Yeah, so serial entrepreneur, pretty much, I have a business mind. When I come up with an idea or I have a passion for something, I pursue it. That's really where my passion is the process of building businesses, and it's really what I love to do. And I've been doing it pretty much my whole life. I started at a young age. I opened my first business at 18 and been pretty consistent since, Even at a young age, I used to figure out ways to make money, so
So you had the lemonade stand on the side of the road.
exactly. I actually used to sell, my father used to bring me like lollipops from Colombia, and they were bigger than your average blow pop. So I was able to sell those for more. And I used to make money when I was, yeah, like 10 years old.
Nice. I've always been fascinated by people like you because I've always had sort of a worker bee mentality where it's like you go to school, whatever, you get a job, you work for someone and you work your way up in that company, And I think a lot of people are like that. And maybe it's rooted in fear, where you just had cojones. Go out, like what drives you? What gives you that entrepreneurial spirit and, the amount of bravery that you have?
Yes, I think it's a balance that I get both from my mother and my father. My mother is actually the entrepreneur, the one that comes up with the ideas and really has the cojones, as you put it, to move forward and to make things happen. And my dad's always been more of the networker and also the 9 to 5 manager guy. He
Right.
was always up at 5 in the morning. His work ethic, he never missed a day, no matter what. Would never take a day off. So I got a glimpse of that when I was younger, and my family actually got in real estate at a young, when I was younger too. So I saw the fruits of it at an
Yeah.
early age.
Yeah, they say, if you want to build long-term wealth, real estate is always a good option, right? And so what is it? In fact, we have our first question, so we'll jump into that. Shannon says a lot of people are interested in real estate right now. But given the current climate, what are the possibilities?
To get into real estate.
I guess to make money, probably it's like, do you flip them? Do you rent them? Or
Okay.
or do you hold it for a long time? Like, what is your suggestion in the real estate market?
I mean, depending where you are, I mean, it's always great to buy and hold, but it's also great to flip as well. So it's really where you're at in life. But for somebody getting into real estate, starting new, I think it's great to get an understanding how it works from like A to B. To understand how closings work, how to deal with negotiating, especially as an investor. So I would think flipping or wholesaling is a perfect place to start for somebody looking to get into real estate.
What's wholesaling?
Wholesaling is a lot of people don't know about wholesaling. It's pretty much a strategy in real estate investing where you don't have to use your own money to get a deal. It's negotiating a contract deal, getting it under contract, and then selling that to an end buyer. Pretty much assigning your rights to that contract for a fee.
Wow, I like that. I like
Yeah,
not using my own money.
yeah. It's always great, right?
Yeah, speaking from my own personal experience, I just bought a house that my goal is to use it, and I'm not trying to get free info from you, but the goal is to like eventually rent it out on Airbnb, and just going through the process as someone who doesn't know really anything about the industry. it's so confusing, like why is your mortgage rate this, but then your payment is that, and then you look at these fee sheets and you're like, what is that?
Yeah.
So I can definitely see how having someone who could walk you through that process would
Yeah.
be beneficial for you. Now, I know that you do a lot of educating as well, right?
Yes.
So talk
Um,
to me about that. What made you get into that side of the business?
well, I'm part of church, and in our church, Church Alive, based out of Lyndhurst, New Jersey. In there's a group called Men's Transform, where we actually help men win in 4 different areas in life. And going through that process, I found the passion of helping people in life. And since then, I've been sharing tons of information that I gather, and I saw how much it could affect somebody, for in a positive way, to help them get started and to give them some drive and direction whatever type of business that they want to get into, not only in real estate, but just having the mindset of an entrepreneur. And just sharing that info and just seeing where people could go with it has brought a new passion to my life where I actually want to help people get started.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, I came across you on Instagram. Do you find that social media is a really important part of your business?
Yes, social media is a very important part, I think, of every business. Nowadays, if you're not on social media or don't have some type of presence, like you're doing something wrong, you're losing business.
Yeah.
Um, you're just not getting your point across. It doesn't even have to necessarily be business, just something that you're passionate about, But at the same time, social media could also be very dangerous in the sense that it's distracting, in the sense that you might be on there and you claim that you want to do business or get some exposure, but you're really not. You're just wasting time seeing what other people are doing.
Going down the wormhole of Instagram hashtags.
Exactly. It gets dangerous.
Well, it does. But it's interesting because I wouldn't think that as a realtor that being on social media was really important. Do you think it's important for your as because you're a realtor, right?
I'm not a realtor. I'm a real estate investor.
Okay, so you just do the investing. And do you find that the social media is important for the investing side of business or just for your trainings and your courses?
No, I think it's very important for the investing side. If you're a realtor, it's definitely important from your being an agent side. It's just important overall in your presence, because nowadays, back in the day, it used to be a business card. Nowadays, people look at your Instagram profile,
Right.
so
Right.
that really gives them an idea of who you are. First thing when I'm dealing with a seller and I'm getting the deal under contract, as soon as I leave, they're checking up my Instagram to see who I am.
Interesting.
If I'm somebody they want to do business with.
So
So
even
it's very,
before like your website, maybe.
yeah, websites nowadays are pretty obsolete, in my opinion. What matters the most is sales funnels and social media presence.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. We've got a question from Melissa here. She wants to know, how do you make time to be an educator while running a real estate business?
Everything is balance.
Yeah.
Having a calendar and really prioritizing what you need to do is so important in just business in general. But when it comes to real estate, I mean, you're getting tons of emails and phone calls. Um, it's just balance, taking away time to work on something that you're passionate about.
Hmm.
It really comes down to organization. Like when it comes to social media, since we were just on that topic, like we have a day set for social media, Media Mondays. That's the day where we come up with content, come up with different ideas of what we're going to post. Like some people think I'm always on my phone, and that's not the truth. Based on my social media, I just plan ahead and I organize it to make sure that all my tasks, including educating and social media presence, gets done.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you have certain tools that help you with organization? Like, what can you
Yes,
not live without? What software really is pivotal for your business?
for my business, pretty much there's so many different platforms, but it's called a CRM system. A
Yeah.
CRM pretty much guides you with everything. It controls all your business that you have going on. Like for an example, in real estate, it'll show me exactly where this deal is. In particular, did we get the contract signed? Are we close to closing? Did we get the title? So it pretty much has a timeline set for you. So a CRM system, investing in that, it's huge.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of free platforms as well, like Trello. is a platform that a lot of people use. You could even use that for your social media, to
Yeah.
be tactical with when you're going to post stuff at what time, see what's getting the best results.
Awesome. Now, did you start out as a realtor or did you go right into investing? Because I think, the name of the show is Do the Damn Thing. And so we're hoping to inspire people who, might have some sort of a block in their life, but they want to start their own thing. They want to be an entrepreneur like yourself, but they're something's stopping them. And so we want to inspire them to get over that hump. And I think when people normally think about real estate, they think of realtors. So did you
Yeah.
start there or did you go straight into the investing?
No, I went straight into the investing, and that's the thing. What people don't really realize, they think to get into real estate you need tons of money, or they also feel like to get on the selling or buying side you need to be a licensed realtor, and that's not the case. I mean, it's good to have. It's definitely an advantage to have a license if that's what you want to do. But me personally, I didn't want to be your average realtor. I didn't want to spend too much time doing that. I wanted to get into the investing side.
Right.
So yeah, you could do it without. It's just really um, figuring out what you want to do for yourself.
Absolutely.
Figuring out what
You're
your
passionate.
passion is.
Yeah, you're
Yeah,
passionate. Did you have a mentor? Like, how did you learn?
I did. So the way that I got into real estate, actually, I knew I wanted to get into real estate. My family was in real estate. My family came from Colombia. We lived in Patterson. My mom's idea about buying property, flipping property, and renting out property,
Mm-hmm.
they made it happen. Next thing you know, they had 5 deals under them within a couple of years, and that's what helped us get to a next level in life. And seeing that, I always knew I wanted to get into real estate. And one day while I was driving, I heard a commercial. It was like, "Hey, you want to get into real estate?" I was like, "Yeah." Well, learn how to flip real estate without your own money. I'm like, okay, I'm there. So I went to a seminar and I got tons of information. I was blown away.
Yeah.
But the only problem was that for their mentorship, it was I think 80 grand. So I was like, ugh.
That's a lot.
And if it, so I came home fired up. I told my wife I'm starting a new business, real estate. She's like, here we go again. I'm like, no, you don't understand. I know exactly what I'm going to do. I just need 80 grand to get started. And she's like, babe, slow down. She's like, calm down. 80 grand, listen to what you're saying. I'm like, oh, yeah, you're right. Let me do some more research. And come to find out, that company really didn't help people. It was kind of a scam.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people were paying $80,000 and weren't getting anything out of it. So I started doing some research. I ran into a guy who was very successful in real estate and flipping houses without his own money. So I wanted to get to know him. I shot him an email. We talked a few times, and he agreed to give me a semi mentorship, give me all direction and pretty much paperwork and documents that I needed to get started. And through that, I was able to get my first real estate deal without a license or without my own money in 30 days.
Wow. Wow, that's awesome.
And
Now you mentioned something interesting. You mentioned that you came across something that was a scam, right? And I know there's tons of scams out there. One of the things that we preach here at HipCat Society is this term called marketing with love, which is essentially about authenticity, being genuine, serving the right audience, and really coming from a place in your soul that's true and honest, and that's how you connect. And so,
yeah,
how do you think, and I know you don't have the full rundown of our marketing with love theory, but how do you think that sort of overarching philosophy correlates into your business? And do you find that, having been scammed before makes you be more honest because you don't want to be like them?
yeah, for sure. I mean, marketing with love. I mean, I love that because I stand for something, and I say it all the time. It's each one teach one.
Right.
Like I really believe that helping each other and teaching what you know and sharing your knowledge is not going to take away from you. I think a lot of people fear giving away secrets or talking about certain things that they're doing in their lives because they feel like they're losing something or giving something away for free. But they
Mm-hmm.
don't really understand that you benefit from that. You benefit from sharing. You benefit from giving love. And when I say giving love, it's just information, being an open book with people. And I ran into that wall of $80,000 for a mentorship, and I don't want anybody to ever feel like that. So my education is actually very affordable to help people get started because it's not about the money. It's about helping people and giving love.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, that you are totally aligned with everything we stand for. So I find that that's very inspiring, and I love that. So let's talk about what it's like to work with you. So when you've recruited a new, are they called clients? Are they partners? Are they called investors? What is it like working with Marco Cabrera?
Well, I'm pretty much, I'm a, I guess you could say like a optimistic person. I'm
Okay.
very, supportive. Like I like to encourage everybody. The moment I sense a little bit negativity, I shut it down like immediately. Like if I'm around one of my guys and they're being negative, I'm like, come on, what are you talking about? Like I'll change the situation to bring them back to life,
Good.
because
I want to come work at your office. No, ours is limited. So.
I know how much of a cancer negativity is. Once it's implanted and it starts spreading, like you got to get it out of what's going on. I'm very patient. I listen to people. I listen to both sides of the story. I try not to make decisions when I'm tired or when there's emotion involved.
Right.
So like if somebody calls me at 6:30, 7 o'clock, they want to talk about something, and I've had a long day, I'll tell them let's revisit this in the morning when I have a clear mind. Um, and the moment I feel like some type of anger or aggression coming from like my heart,
Right.
I immediately shut that conversation down, get my thoughts together, breathe, might say a prayer real quick, and then get back to it. Because I
Okay.
think, yeah, having a clear mind and not dealing off emotion, you can make a lot of bad decisions or say things that you really don't mean. So I try to keep my atmosphere filled with encouragement and positive vibes.
Awesome. I love that. We got a question from Lexi here. She wants to know, were you always an educator? What was the process you had to go through to find your unique take and way of coming to the table to educate your clients? It's a long one. Did you want me to repeat it?
No, I got you. I mean, no, I wasn't always an educator, but I've always been passionate with what I believe in. Once I see it and I believe it, I run with it, and it doesn't matter who I'm in front of. I'm gonna make them believe it too because I'm passionate about it. I stand behind it, and I think that passion is what helped me in education.
Yeah.
Because I believe in what I'm talking about. Like if I didn't know what I was talking about, then that passion wouldn't be there and I probably wouldn't be a good educator. So I guess whatever you're educating about, be passionate about and everything will flow from there. But of course, there's different things that you could do, like reading books, about talking in public, things like that to help you because every
Sure.
skill needs to be sharpened.
Yeah. So how do you find your clients? Is it mostly through Instagram, or you said I know that they research you after they found you, but where does most of your clients come from?
So in real estate, we do a lot of mass marketing. We do Google ads. That's it's called PPC. Yeah, PPC.
Pay per
Pay
click?
per click.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's a way. We also send direct mail. We have signs that we put in certain areas just to gather attention and get phone calls. That's our marketing.
Now, I would think that as a teacher, your audience is global, right? Like you can teach anyone about this, but as some of the things that you mentioned, that's more localized, right?
Yeah, when it comes to my personal flipping, those type of clients, I
Mm-hmm.
use what I just mentioned, the marketing that I use. But when it comes to educating, Google is definitely a huge platform, Facebook, YouTube as well. Like if you have an educational course or you have something to offer people worldwide where it's digitally,
Yeah.
because my course is a digital course. I'm not sitting there in front of a whole classroom, even though I do monthly coaching calls. But YouTube is probably the main thing to reach a broad audience across the
Right.
country.
Yeah, that's awesome. Now, how many people can you work with at one time? It sounds like you've got your hands in a lot of different plots. I know the digital course you said is, something that is evergreen and people can take it without you actually being there. But in terms of helping people be investors, do you have a limit?
I haven't reached that limit, but I've been getting a lot of phone calls lately because on my Instagram I have like 15-minute coaching calls and stuff like that. And it's great to see how many people have been, just setting time and just to pick my brain and ask some questions. So I haven't reached the limit where I'm sorry I don't have enough time in the day to coach people or just to get them started. But looking forward to it. That'll be awesome. That's a
Yeah,
good
that'll be
problem.
awesome. And are you leaning more towards the coaching side, or is it, would you say 50-50 or 80-20?
Um, right now it's about 50-50 because
Wow.
it's kind of funny how it came about. Like the coaching really started from COVID,
Yeah.
believe it or not. it's always something that I wanted to get started. I had it in my goals, but being consumed with my day to day and real estate, I never had a lot of time for it. But during COVID is actually where I was able to focus and just geek out on how to get a course started.
So
I
you
did
built
that.
this whole course in the past like 6, 7 months.
Yeah. It's a pretty interesting story. Once COVID hit, everything shut down. My
Eh,
whole real estate business stopped like instantly as soon as the country shut down, and pretty much my funds were frozen as well. I didn't know how long it was going to last. I have a family. I'm married, so of course I had to support my family, and I started, my entrepreneur self just started getting in motion, and one of the things that were on my list was an educational platform, and that's why I started my educational platform. And I didn't know how I was going to fund it. It costs money to do ads and everything. So what I did was I started working DoorDash. I'm like, what's this DoorDash thing? And everything I made in DoorDash was able to cover the investment to get my educational platform started
Wow.
during COVID. Yeah, yeah, it was pretty cool.
Interesting. Wow. And
Yeah.
so you said it's taken off in just in that short of amount of time.
Yeah, it has, and we're still, tweaking some things. Of course, I like to get feedback from the people who are taking my course to see what they like, what they don't understand. So it's still growing, in time, but it's definitely helping a lot of people get started in real estate.
That's awesome. And I know, like I said, on a personal level, I've always been interested in real estate, sort of dabbling in it, but really stumbling through it as I make my way. So it's great to know that there's a resource like the course that you have that's out there. So
Yeah.
let's talk to the people out there who are where you were, however many years ago, and they want to get started, but they don't know where to go or what to do. What would you say to them? What advice do you have for them?
Uh, Now, is this in general for entrepreneurs or just like in real estate?
Let's start with real estate.
Okay. Um, Start educating yourself, reading a book, seeing exactly what you want to do. If you're fascinated with like HGTV and you love the whole flipping process, or you're like a project manager, I would suggest learning about flipping, how it works. Understand that you don't need a license to do it. Understand that you don't need a bunch of money to do it either, and just surrounding yourself in that atmosphere. Um, a lot of people don't know, but there's an app called Meetup, and in that meetup, you could find your niche. Like if you like snowboarding, you could find stuff about snowboarding, and you could find stuff about real estate locally in your town. So if you go on a meetup app and you put like real estate investors, real estate agents, buying and flipping, you'll find a group of people that meet weekly. Start networking. Surround yourself around the people that you want to be like. Find somebody, a mentor, and start modeling them. See what they do day to day, how they get up in the morning, what do they read, how they react to certain things. Start modeling somebody, and then you'll get a clear direction from that.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned networking. Now, did you find that your church was a big source of, obviously, I would think inspiration, but did you do a lot of networking with your church members? You mentioned them earlier.
Um, Not really networking. That's where I got, my leadership, like helping people, passion from it. But as
Right.
far as networking, I've always been a networker. I was in nightlife years ago, and that, to have a successful event, you have to do a lot of networking. So that was one of my main business for years. So I'm like a professional networker.
That's good. That's good. You got to be able to do it. That's probably my biggest downfall. Like I can't do it. But
Hey, it's
digitally,
important.
yeah.
Hey, it's important. Getting comfortable being uncomfortable, talking to people and just being in that atmosphere.
Yeah, absolutely. Now let's switch gears to just entrepreneurs in general. What would you say to them to get them up and over that hump we spoke about?
A lot of entrepreneurs, I think they're stuck with, they have to be the first one to create something. And I think they drive themselves crazy doing that. There's a lot of successful businesses. You just got to find one and model it. Later on, you could start tweaking it and make it your own. But, that whole concept of reinventing the wheel, if you're not that type of person, you might get lost in it. There's inventors and they're great. That's their passion. That's what they do. But a lot of times entrepreneurs try to be the same, but that's not the case. Find something you like, find somebody who does it in a large scale and model them. And
Yeah.
later on, you can make it your own.
Absolutely. Now, having done this for as long as you have, are there lessons that you had to learn the hard way?
Oh yeah.
Maybe some that you could share that we can so others can avoid.
Yeah, I mean, when I got into real estate, I got my first deal, like I said, in 30 days, and I made money working. I think I worked on the deal maybe 10 hours, and I made a lot, and I was just, wow,
You're
this is what I
hooked.
want. I'm hustling, and then
Yeah.
I ran right into it. I put tons of money in marketing, and that was a bad choice. I tried to go to 0 to 100 way too fast, and I ended up losing a bunch of money. But that's the important thing about being an entrepreneur is failing, but fail and learn.
Right.
Don't beat yourself up over it. You're gonna fall down. You're gonna have tough days, especially in real estate. You have to be a problem solver, just as an entrepreneur. Don't throw fuel on the fire. Learn how to diffuse the fire. And that's key. You're gonna fail. Don't beat yourself up on it.
Right. I love that. I love that message. What are some things that you know now that you didn't know going into all this? There's always, even when I opened my own business, I was like, had no idea about some of the work that was required, some of the paperwork that was required, some of the legal stuff that was required. So, what are some of the things that you had no idea?
I think the accounting side is, I think the downfall of a lot of entrepreneurs. They don't take it that serious. As an entrepreneur, we wear a lot of hats. We think that we could do everything,
Yeah.
and that actually gets in our own way. Like you need to really find what your talents are and stick to that. Hire and outsource everybody for everything else, because it's just going to make your business more successful. Trying to do it on your own, you're going to learn the hard way that it's not going to work.
Right. You can't do everything, right? As much as we think
Yeah,
we can. And are
yeah.
there tools or resources that you use to take some of the load off? Do you automate certain things? Like what are I know we spoke about some of your favorite software earlier, but how do you find these people to outsource your work to?
Oh yeah, automation is huge. I mean, as an entrepreneur, you should also have the mindset that you want to remove yourself from the business. At first, yeah, you have to give it your all and get it started and get the wheels going. But eventually, you got to hang up the ego and back up. Because what are you doing it for? Are you really doing it? Are you leaving your job to create another job for yourself? That shouldn't be the case. In my case, it's time, more time with my family, more time at church, more time traveling, doing the stuff that I really want to do. And in order to do that, I have to remove myself from the business. So we got a lot of passion because it's kind of like our baby, right? But at the same time, our baby's got to grow and we got to let them go to college. So that's the way I try to look at it. Is it's important to remove yourself
That's
from
an
from your
interesting
business.
take. I've
So
never I've never heard it like that, but you're right. I mean, I think at the end of the day, more time is really our most valued resource. I mean, that's the one thing we
yeah,
can never have more of, and it's the one thing we all want more of. So that's a really
yeah,
good way to look at it. And I know just from being, I've got some realtors or some real estate industry folks in my family. It seems like, I mean, there is the never business hours is 24/7.
yeah,
So especially in
yeah.
that industry, finding or being able to carve out time for yourself, it seems like a really difficult task.
It is, and you just have to realize where you want to be in your business. As far as like automating, like there's tons of stuff that you could do, like virtual assistants.
Yeah.
Just hire somebody who could do all the admin stuff, like sending emails and make sure the contracts are in place. Like that takes tons of time off of my back. And those are things that I'm not. It's not really helping me or my business.
Right.
So it's better to give somebody who could specialize and get those things done, those tasks.
Awesome. We are almost out of time, but do you, if people wanted to work with you, is there a certain like level of experience that you expect them to have? Do you take newcomers?
Yeah, I take newcomers. I take people that have been doing it for a long time. There's always something that we can learn off each other.
Yeah.
Even as a newcomer or a veteran that's been doing it for a while. So I just love to learn. I love to work with people. So yeah, there's no. I'm working with everybody.
Awesome. Well, I love speaking with you. I love your message. Everyone check out his Instagram. In fact, now is your chance, Marco. If people want to work with you, where should they go to find you? And we will have all this information down below as well.
Awesome. So you can follow me on Instagram. My name is Marco Priceless. Marco, priceless with a P. Also, my course is the Investors Vault. You could go to the website, investorsvault.club, and it also has an Instagram at Investors Vault, where you could get tons of information and my coaching for real estate.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. It has been a pleasure talking to you. I may hit you up after so you can help me through some of my investing, but I really, really
Yeah, for
appreciate you
sure.
taking the time to speak with us, and I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you so much, Laura. Thank you for having me.
Bye bye.
See ya.